Monochromatic cards are fun to make, and they can be beautiful when you add the right elements of color, texture, and interest. Today I'm going to talk about monochromatic cards and how you can bring your card from average to outstanding with these elements. It's Colleen and welcome to my YouTube channel. Hit the subscribe button so you never miss another video. So we have a new release from Gina K Designs, which always makes me happy. And one of the items in this release is this beauty called Beautiful Butterflies 3. It's a 6x8 stamp set, and it is chock full of butterflies in all shapes and sizes. And the details in this stamp are incredible. And if you look at what I'm pointing here to, that butterfly wing is actually a sentiment. Isn't that clever? So you can stamp the sentiment in the shape of a wing to your recipient. And we're going to do that today too. So, and the other beautiful thing is, guess what? That stamp layers with beautiful butterflies too. That was released a little while ago by Gina K Designs, and they're meant to layer together. Now, it comes with coordinating dies, and you can actually do a third one, which you see right here. That's called Beautiful Butterflies. So you have 3 stamp sets that can layer together and create the most incredible butterflies I think I have ever seen. And I'm showing you how they come in different sizes and different shapes. So the sky is the limit as to what you could do with these. You could stamp these alone, which we're going to do today. And you can also layer them, which we're also going to do today. Now, I don't have Beautiful Butterflies, the original stamp, but imagine what that would look like when you add that too. Here is an example of what it looks like stamped with Beautiful Butterflies 2 and 3 together. And I found it to be very easy to line them up and stamp them. I used powder blue and blue denim ink by Gina K Designs. And I will be using that in my card today as well when we make our monochromatic card. But I wanted you to see the beauty of these butterflies and the detail that is in them. This is an amazing stamp set from this release. So when you pick up this Beautiful Butterflies 3, remember to get Beautiful Butterflies 1 and 2 as well. So then you have all 3 stamp sets along with the coordinating dies to layer together. So here's a few more items that we're going to be using to create our card for today. Everything I'm using will be in the description box so that you can shop to your heart's content. But we're going to make a monochromatic card today, and we're going to use some elements that add interest and texture using those beautiful shades of blue. So let's get started on the card. So the first step is to stamp a background. And I'm using Beautiful Butterflies 3, which is the newest stamp set. And I'm going to stamp a background using the darker of the blue shades. I believe that was blue denim. And I'm using the mini ink. So you're going to see me stamping this several times on there. And it's not because the inks are not great. It's because Colleen did not take the time to re-ink the stamp or re-ink the ink before I stamped this. So this was my own fault. And I'm using a mini ink, so the coverage is a little harder to get on there as opposed to full-size inks. But it worked. It works fine. I have no problem stamping this a few times to get a good crisp image. So what I'm doing is I'm taking this one stamp and I'm going to add it, stamp it 3 different times on a 5.5 by 4.25 piece of white cardstock. And I believe I'm using Nina Solar white cardstock. Gina K has a line of white cardstock that is incredible. So if you're in need of white cardstock, I would suggest that when you pick up your butterfly stamps, you pick up that as well. Now, I'm going to be going in and adding other items in here too, because I want to add as much as I can from this stamp set so that you can see the variety that you have here to use. So now you see me going in with a smaller stamp, and I'm going to fill in the white gaps with these other stamps. So monochromatic card, what does that mean? That means it's a card that's stamped using one color family. And what I love about that is the simplicity of just using one color family. But to make a card go from average to outstanding, I like to add the details that encompass texture and interest, which I'm going to show you in a little bit once this background is finished. So you see I finished the background in the one color, and I think it is beautiful. But now I'm going to go in and use these other 2 die cuts to create the interest and the texture using my Connect glue. I love this Gina K Designs Connect glue because it's got a fine tip, so it's really good for intricate die cuts like this one. So I'm taking this die and I'm gonna, the lattice, this die, I'm gonna take it and go over the other die, and then I'm gonna trim it down because I just wanted to add a little more interest to that beautiful die. And you can take the piece that you cut off and use it in another, set it aside and use it for something else. But this is where adding the interest and the texture comes in. The die provides texture and it also adds interest. And because I die cut it in white, it's not going to compete with that beautiful background. It's actually going to complement it. So the details are everything when it comes to taking a card from average to outstanding. Always remember that what kind of details can you add to your card that will add interest and texture without causing it to become too busy or have the elements compete with each other. Monochromatic is beautiful because you're just adding the one color family with white, and that simplifies the process tremendously. So now I'm going in with the largest butterfly from the Beautiful Butterflies 3 stamp set, and I'm going to stamp this bad boy, but I'm also going to show you how it layers with the Beautiful Butterflies too. I want you to see how easy it is to layer these butterflies. And the second layer is going to be stamped with the powder blue, the lighter of the Gina K Designs inks. And excuse my head for getting in the way, but I needed to make sure that this lined up. And if you look at the pointer that I'm using, if you line up those circles on the butterfly, you will most definitely successfully line up your second layer. So pick a focal point when you need to layer one stamp on top of another. And if that focal point gets lined up, then the rest of your stamp, it will be easy to line the rest of it up and you'll get a good stamp every time. But look at the beautiful detail in this butterfly. Oh my goodness, I am in love. So now I'm going to die cut this, and I actually die cut this a few times because I wanted that butterfly to be a solid image. This is the coordinating die that comes with these butterfly stamp sets. And there you have it. So now I have all of my elements ready, and I'm taking some Gina K Designs foam squares, which I love, and I'm adding it to the back of this butterfly so that it pops off the page a little bit. And as a side note, I have a power struggle with the backing on these things, so I use my tweezers to get them off a lot easier. So now what I'll do is I will add my butterfly and my sentiment from the Beautiful Butterflies 2 stamp set, and I'll add that right over that background. And because all the colors are in the same color family, it blends together. So I hope that you've been able to learn quite a bit about monochromatic cards and how you can add details using texture and interest. Now we're adding some shine even by adding these cute little sequins to the butterfly. I'm really happy that you joined me today. I hope that you grab your goodies and you get out and you work on those monochromatic cards.